It's a beautiful day in Brindlewood Bay. The Murder Mavens are on the case, solving mysteries while serving up cake. It's a beautiful day in Brindlewood Bay.
Hi, welcome to RPG Reanimators, and it's a live segment for Brindlewood Bay. Julian is going to be our keeper for this. What's the term? Not quite sure, but uh, we'll be playing Brindlewood Bay today. Julian, take it away.
Okay. Thank you very much, Nathan. Yes, we're going to be playing Brindlewood Bay. And for folks that have never played Brindlewood Bay, it's produced by The Gauntlet, and they do several other things like Trophy Dark, Trophy Gold, Public Access. Some people refer to these as story games, but I'll kind of get into that a little bit here in a moment. The concept of Brindlewood Bay is that the players are all elderly women who are members of a local Murder Mavens mystery book club. You're super fans of Robin Masterson and her series of mysteries. And you all often find yourself investigating real murders and solving them. If we were playing a longer miniseries, then they would become more aware of supernatural forces that are at work. And there's actually a cult dedicated to the dark, mysterious monster goddess Persephone. Now, the game itself is directly inspired from TV shows like Murder, She Wrote, Columbo. So those shows from back in the 80s, which were fantastic. Big super fan of Angela Lansbury there, actually. The aim of the game is for the characters to keep their investigator safe while investigating the murders. And you're also to learn more about these characters and to paint a vivid picture about who they are in the world of Brindlewood Bay. And the tone of the game kind of bounces back between cozy and creepy. But then, you guys, 3 or 4 of you have played with me before, and I tend to kind of drop into some comedy Scooby-Doo stuff, just because that's my nature. But Brindlewood Bay is kind of considered to be a story game because the scenarios are not predefined. So I don't know who the murderer is. And so it's our job as a group to talk to these suspects, investigate, search for clues, which sometimes clues are a little more vague than we would like them to be. But you're trying to find out, taking these clues that you have and figuring out who the best murder suspect probably is. And then at the end of the game, you take your theory and you basically do a roll. So it's 2d6 plus how many ever clues you use minus the scenario's complexity. And depending on what you roll, it kind of determines the level of success on that kind of stuff.
How complex is the scenario we're playing tonight?
It's a 7, actually. Okay. So it's not quite 6 is usually like an intro scenario, and 7 is a little bit more complex.
Awesome.
Yeah. Now, on your character sheets, in the middle, there is an end of session set of checkboxes, and you guys need to pick 2, and those kind of become your personal objectives for the scenario. And so if you're able to if you're able to solve the mystery and do your 2, then you gain XP for the scenario. That's kind of how that works. Now, the mechanical component of the game involves different kinds of moves, like day moves, night moves. meddling moves. So if you're trying to do something, if you're trying to gather clues from somebody, I will say that since this scenario takes place at night, all the moves are going to be either night moves or meddling moves. So things are a little bit more dangerous
Mhm.
with this particular scenario. And then on the right-hand side of the character sheet, you can see there's Crown of the Queen and Crown of the Void. And mechanically, those two things work exactly the same. So if you're in a position and you roll your dice, but you don't like the result, you can choose either the Crown of the Queen or Crown of the Void. And it kind of gives you like a bump to your score. So it takes you to the next higher level of success. So you can kind of think of it like as a luck mechanic is kind of how I think about that. And you get to kind of re-narrate the scenario. I will say. I will say though that Crown of the Void does also act like a sanity tracker. So the more checks you have, the less sane your character becomes, actually. So
All 5 checks.
yeah, all 5 checks. Yeah, because the last one is you retire your character. So that's when you know things have gone bad, actually. So hopefully that kind of makes a little bit of sense.
Yeah, can you walk us through the night move and the meddling move just to kind of explain
Mhm.
what die we roll and how we'll interpret that?
Yeah. So on your character sheet, you have a selection of abilities, vitality, composure, reason, presence, and sensitivity. And those kind of are your core statistics. So anytime you're rolling, you would roll 2d6 and then add one of the appropriate modifiers to your roll. And the night move is when you do something risky or face something you fear. You as the player will name what you're afraid will happen if you fail or lose. And then I get to tell you how it's going to be worse. And the way that successes are done in this particular game is that if you roll anything less than a 7, that's a complete failure. On a 7 to 9 is sort of a success. You do what you intend, but there's a complication or a cost of some sort. If you roll a 10 or an 11, then that is a complete success. You do what you intend to do. And if you roll a 12 or more, then you not only succeed, but you gain some sort of extra benefit or an advantage. Yeah. And you get to kind of describe what that looks like, actually. So, and really all the moves are kind of like that. The difference between the meddling move and the night move is that the meddling move is when you're specifically looking for a clue, conducting research, or if you're trying to gather particular information from someone.
Gets
Yeah.
you a capital C clue.
Clue, yeah. One of the all important things that drives the game. Yeah. And then the theorized portion of it, we can go over that again, actually, at the end of the scenario. So,
Perfect.
yeah. Okay. So if you guys are ready, we can sort of begin to drop into the scenario. I thought a good way to kind of introduce your characters, as well as add a few items to your cozy place, because your cozy place is sort of your inventory tracker.
Mm.
And so you get to add something yourself, and then the rest of us get to add something to your cozy little place as well. So if you want to kind of each of you do a little short vignette about your character, their name, what they did before they came to Brindlewood, before they retired, if they had a spouse, kids, that kind of stuff. So who would like to go first?
Jane will go first. Why not? I've been talking. So, Jane Gustafson is a force to be reckoned with on the open streets. She power walks like the best. Not running. That's a little too fast for her speed. But she, does the full thing. She's got the little tracker to keep track of her heart. So you'll see her a lot of the mornings just blazing by, and she'll wave, but she does not have time to talk.
Okay.
Was Jane married? Is she a
Jane was
widow?
married. Yes. She actually moved. That is a good question. Julian, are we in England, Maine? What's the setting that we're in for Brindlewood?
Yeah, for this one, let's move us back to the United States. So it kind of keeps things a little
Okay.
bit
Okay.
Nantuckety.
All right. Yes, she actually moved up to Maine after her husband Gregory passed away. She got a tidy settlement out of that, so she doesn't actually work at the moment. She's kind of independent there. And she definitely bought a house that it had too much garden for what she can actually accomplish. So that's her cozy activity is gardening. And it really is mostly a sort of venting into the vines and the up just everything overgrowing. There's no real art to it.
Do you have any kids?
No kids. No kids. Gregory was taken too soon. Is what she says, but in reality, she didn't want kids.
Hmm. Very cool.
I'll go. I'm playing Annabella Lafleur. This is a character I have very much modeled after a person in my real life. Um, Annabella worked with the Red Cross during World War II and met her departed husband, Francois, in France during that time. And they have two beautiful children, Maxime and Francois Jr. They both live abroad. Annabella and Francois lived a pretty international life after the war, where they did a lot of traveling, living back and forth between France and the United States. Obviously, that's where Francois was from. Um, and Annabella continued working with the Red Cross for many years after the war was over, and she's finally settled into a life of retirement. Um, her and Francois had built up a pretty nice nest egg, but he was very much a penny pincher growing up, in war-torn Europe. And so upon his unfortunate death, Annabella has taken to spending a lot of that money now and like treating herself. So she kind of dons herself in elegant clothing. Her style is very Jackie O. If anyone questions her about it, she says, "Darling, this is what Francois would have wanted for me to live in this luxurious life." So her cozy activity is antiquing and furniture, and she lives in like a very nice home in Brindlewood Bay.
Very cool. Oh, and I forgot about the cozy spot for just a second. So if we can backpedal to Jane, did you have a cozy item for your?
Oh, a cozy item.
Yeah.
It's, what what is cozy? You know what? She has the sweatband is her cozy item. She's got like the head sweatband that she keeps on, and it's like one of those super plush looking ones.
Cool.
Now, do we
Yeah.
all also give Jane an item or a
Yeah.
place or
Yeah, you can give her an item. Um, it's called a cozy little place, but it's basically your inventory. So any kind of
Hmm,
how you would have any of these things, I have no idea, but you've got it. Um, but if you can figure out how to use it
okay.
with a roll, then you can gain advantage on your roll. So that's kind of nifty.
Mm.
I'm envisioning, since Jane is very much a gardener, I'm envisioning like a trowel maybe in like the pockets of a cardigan or something. Often she has, a
Absolutely.
trowel for gardening. Yeah.
Yeah. Diane, what do you think she's got?
For definitely some kind of small candies to give out, always in her pocket when she's on her walk.
Oh.
She throws them at children to get them out of her way. Go
Pocket
over there.
sand.
Maybe a basket to keep the flowers that she picks.
Oh, I like that.
That's cool. That's cool. I'm gonna give you a pair of those shears, those little clippers that
Oh,
you
yeah,
clip.
yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm gonna give that to you. Annabella. Golly.
I give myself, if I can pick, we give ourselves one thing, right?
Yeah.
I'm giving myself a stylish wardrobe.
Okay.
I'm gonna give Annabella a large number of rings
Oh
to
yeah.
have, like a dangerous amount.
giant,
Yeah, like
gaudy rings.
I think a hat pin.
Oh, I like it.
Ooh, nice.
Ooh, I would say she has. If we're just talking about fashion, let's give her some ankle bracelets.
Ankle bracelets. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm gonna give you I'm gonna actually give you sort of a I don't know what they call, but like a thing on your keys where if somebody gets too close to you, you can hit them.
Ah.
My
Okay.
cousin's got one. It's like a
Okay.
ball. It's really dangerous, actually.
Okay.
Okay. So who would like to go next?
I'll go next. So today I will be portraying Diane Chu. She is a first generation American citizen after she immigrated here from China, and she opened up a Chinese restaurant with her husband Henry, who is still here, and off on his own travels. Her single son was gonna take over the restaurant business, but decided to take this opportunity in America to study architecture instead. So now she sold off the restaurant and spends a lot of time doing Tai Chi in the public park nowadays. She really likes to cook still, and that's her cozy activity. She is known to bring stir-fried noodles and dumplings to the gatherings. And I would say her cozy item is a wok that's been has seasoning from like 50 years.
Ooh.
So,
Very nice.
All right. You know what I'm gonna give you? I don't know a ton about Tai Chi, but I'm gonna assume they need like a yoga mat
oh yeah,
of some
sure.
kind.
Love that.
Hmm.
I'm gonna say kitchen scissors.
Oh yeah, gotta
Oh.
love a good pair of kitchen scissors.
Those are sharp.
Mhm.
You gotta keep them sharp.
And you better not use them for anything else.
Yeah.
Hmm.
A flamethrower.
Butane torch.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, the butane torch.
Ooh, I
We
actually
don't want to
kinda
add
like
that to the
that.
game, do we?
The pocket butane torch. I
Oh
actually
no.
like that.
They've got those little ones that
Yeah.
are for like cigars, and they
For like creme brulee.
Are
Yeah.
you
Yeah.
typecasting me?
no.
I give
just-
that to you, Alex, a butane torch.
We just know you'll find a good use for it.
That's right.
Yikes.
Yeah. Jeez, what am I gonna give you?
A gun. People are suggesting guns now.
It's not
It's
the kind of game.
escalating.
It's not the kind of game, Alan.
I know.
So
Well, I gave it my fair shot.
I understand. I understand. Um,
Like
I'm-
I could like tongs, chopsticks.
I was thinking chopsticks. I was going to think like, a really nice pair A crossbow.
That shoots
Just-
chopsticks.
Because they have metal chopsticks. You can have metal
Oh.
chopsticks.
Metal chop. All right, all
Metal
right.
chopsticks. I like it.
Yeah. Okay.
All right. So I will be playing Ruth Fox. She used to be a museum tour guide for a natural history museum in Brindlewood Bay. She likes history, and she likes knowing that even after they die, people leave behind a trace of who they were. Her husband, Eldon, worked for the post office for years before he died of a heart attack. So she got his pension. They had one child, Jill, who works at the library at the local college. And these days, Ruth lives alone with her Siamese cat, Bartholomew, who she affectionately calls Mr. Beau. And she spends her time at Quilt Club or sewing at home, where she makes patterns to sell at Christmas craft fairs. And also all year round, but specifically at Christmas craft fairs. And all of her clothes are handmade.
That's nice.
And my item, well, Bartholomew I get for free,
Yeah.
but also fabric shears.
Dang it, you were
Hmm.
taking what I was gonna give you. I was like, fabric scissors.
I think it would be entertaining if you had a jar of glitter.
Okay.
A pin cushion of needles. Like the tomato pin cushion. I'll give you that.
I have one behind me currently.
Nice.
Well, I'm very tempted to say you have Eldon's ring, but I'm gonna go with a large number of yarn, like not balls necessarily, but you know when they kind of wrap them up, just like a basket of those.
Skeins.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
I'll go along with that and I'll give you a set of custom knitting needles.
Ooh, very nice. Metal knitting.
Was
Sure.
what makes them custom? Do they have like flames on the side? Like what's
They're
You got
they're
the name engraved.
get the name engraved. They're like special carved. They're just like
Ah,
really, really nice. Maybe they're out of
nice.
mahogany or something like that. I don't know.
Oof.
Like a set of them or just one? Because that's
No.
only one size.
Let's give you a set
Okay,
from
perfect.
small, not like I guess you could have like the great big ones, but
I mean, they come in like a zip up,
yeah.
like a case.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
This is a negotiation.
Did you all select a Maven move for yourself?
Yes.
Great.
Yes.
I
Okay,
picked
cool.
Jonathan Hart. So the traveling, jet setting, big personality. So I get a +1 on my presence.
Okay, cool.
I chose Colt Seavers. Once a session, take 12+ on any roll. That
Wow.
is daring.
Nice.
Very Alex Sun. I like it.
Yes, very on brand.
Okay. Ruth, what did you? Oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, please, Ruth, go ahead because Alex took mine.
I took Gordon Shumway because a cat. I get a cat.
Oh, yeah.
Bartholomew
played-
comes with me everywhere.
Is he on a leash or in a bag, like one of those bags that you carry on your back?
A bag. It's one of the ones with like feet that pop out, so I can like put him down and he can walk.
You walk around. Cool.
Yeah.
And I'll take a B.A. Baracus, where once per mystery, if I or any number of your fellow Mavens would suffer physical harm, I can describe how that physical harm is just narrowly avoided.
Got it.
Oh, my hip!
So basically, you walk around with a life alert, right?
Look out! Beep.
Okay. All right. So, the scenario is titled Deadly Silent Auction. It was written by Petra Volkhausen. I think I pronounced that right. And it's available in the Nephews for Peril mystery book. actually. I think it's available on Drive Through RPG is probably the Gauntlet's website as well, if you want to pick it up. So you all have been eyeballing ads in the paper about an upcoming silent auction at Oberton's Antiques, which is a place of common rarities and odd finds alike. It's owned and run by the eccentric twins, Pierre and Pauline Oberton. And they also live in apartments right above the store. The auction involves items from the estate of the late Captain Solomon Heimwekel. He's a Brindlewood Bay native, and he spent his last years living as a recluse, actually. All the proceeds from the auction will be donated to the Brindlewood Bay Whaling Museum and Education Center, as decreed in the captain's will. And so we're going to begin the scenario with you all arriving at Oberton's Antiques. And this scenario does take place in the evening, starting about 6 o'clock in the evening, actually. And so when you come into the Oberton's Antiques, you come into the storefront area of this shop, and it's got all kinds of different kinds of antique items all over the place. But you're greeted by Pierre and Pauline, who are waiting for people coming through the door and are handing out brochures which detail various auction items. Now, this is a paint the scene part of the scenario. And so you all have met or know the Obertons. And so you know that aside from a shared love of extravagant clothing, the twins are like night and day. How so?
So you would like us to define how they are night and day?
Yeah.
Well, how about we make it a 24/7 business and actually have one of the twins take the first
Night
shift,
and one is
and then
working
one's
day.
And when they actually host a what do you call it? Auction, they're both up at the same time.
I like it. I like the idea that Pierre has like a very peacocky style, like bright colors, very kind of a garish look, and Pauline has like a almost like a dark academia. Like, so they're very much like opposite ends of the rainbow spectrum, the two of them when they're standing next to each other. Very stylish, both of them, but just completely different.
Yeah, but Pierre stays during the night and Pauline during the day.
Of course. Of course.
Yeah.
And
yeah, that is a very good description of them. I like that a lot.
And Pierre's always tired.
And so yeah, let's go with that. Pierre's always tired and Pauline's always like kind of chatty, like very friendly.
I like the idea that their personalities are very much at odds with their style. Like Pierre is kind of a morose individual that dresses brightly, and Pauline is kind of this like bubbly personality that dresses in like lots of dark colors and plaid.
That's cool.
I know, thank you.
But yeah, you guys come into the room, and there are several people that are already in here, browsing through the auction site. And you can see that there's all kinds of things like furniture, art, wall art, paintings. There's some items that come off of a ships, nautical items, things like that. Now, I do know that Jane was specifically interested in a ship in a bottle, actually.
Indeed, yes. She's thinking that it would look interesting in her garden and maybe take some, focus off the fact that she butchered whatever bush was supposed to be growing, whatever it was supposed to be growing.
Okay. And I know Annabella was specifically interested in a spyglass, I
Yes.
think.
Look fine on my mantelpiece.
Yeah. What's Diane and Ruth particularly interested in bidding on this evening?
Well, I know the captain had a lot of travel, so I'm actually looking for a new porcelain salad plate from the Ming Dynasty because the last one had an unfortunate accident.
Ruth would be looking for a fountain pen. She's looking to take up journaling.
Okay. And kind of the way things are laid out, this being a silent auction, they've got all the items laid out, and then there's little sheets of paper in front of that or on top of that particular item. And so, people are going along and writing in their name and bids on everything. So as you're kind of walking around, there's a few people and you kind of recognize a few of them. There's also a caterer off to the side. So if you wanted some hors d'oeuvres or drinks, you could get some catering as well. You could see a big sign up. It says excellent eats. Eats is with a Z on the end of it.
Tacky.
Very tacky.
Millennials.
Well, you recognize Nigel Potter as the caterer, and he's got a big T-shirt with a logo on front of it. Excellent eats.
Are the eats excellent?
You can go over and try something if you'd like.
I'll at least look at what the offerings are.
Okay. Yeah, you go over and Nigel is standing there and he's like, "Hi,
Nigel, how are you today?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?"
Oh, fried catfish. Very original, dear.
Yeah, well, I'm just trying to, give something for everybody.
Was this freshly caught this morning?
Yeah, I bought it down at the market from, I'm blanking on that character's name. But anyway, yeah, I bought it down at the market.
From Seamus, I hope.
Yeah, oh, no, I didn't get it from Seamus. Seamus charges too much money.
But they're fresh, dear. You buy from anyone else and they were caught 2 days ago.
I'm sorry, I'll have to do better next time.
Yes, well, I think I'll just pick up some cubes of cheese on little toothpicks and wander away.
Yeah, sounds good.
I'll go up to him and don't mind Annabella. Keep up your cooking. You can do it.
Thanks, Diane. I appreciate that. Yeah.
And I will not eat anything.
Yeah. It looks like he put more effort into the t-shirt than anything else. So, and you also get the fact that he probably is working very cheap as well.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah. Okay. But as there's several people wandering around the room, there's one person you don't recognize. No, there's two people you don't recognize, actually. There's one person who's dressed in a pristine suit. And you've never seen him before. And then there's another lady. She's a smaller, shorter lady, dressed rather frumpishly. And you've never seen her before either. Everybody else in the room you recognize. That's the wrong scenario. Actually, Ruth, you probably recognize Lee Landsberg, who is a art history major at Brindlewood Bay Community College. You also recognize Alma Heimwinkel, who is the captain's granddaughter. And she's kind of walking around constantly on her phone while all of this is going on. Then you see a lady by the name of Marjorie Buttons. And the last person you see is a little bit out of place. It's George Miller, who's a fisherman, a retired fisherman. And it's he looks a little bit worried as he's wandering around. But it's kind of odd that he might be here, but maybe not, since it is the Captain Heimwinkel.
I think Jane would, if it's allowed to go amongst the items at this point, she's power walking through these to see who's gotten in an early bid, see if there's what she wants there, and if anybody has had the gall to bid on it at this point.
Oh, on the ship in a bottle?
Yeah.
I want to mention that when you come up to the ship in the bottle, it is impressive. Actually, it's a lot bigger than you thought it was. It's actually one of those big carboys with a ship in it. So it's a pretty big.
Yeah, that'll draw some distraction from that's perfect. That's right. Let's take a look at this. She picks up the sheet and is taking a look at it.
Yeah. You do actually see there's like 3 other bids on it.
Okay, who's she targeting?
You see that that Marjorie has bid. Then there is a name that you don't recognize, a Hazim is on there. And then there is George Miller. None of them have bid very much money, though.
Well, I'll bid a little bit more than the top. I'll scrawl my name on there, and she's got a list of people she will be talking to in order to urge them to press on to greener pastures.
Okay.
I'll head up to Jane and be like, what are you looking at?
I'm looking at a ship in a bottle. I'm assuming, as we've discussed, you have no interest in this?
No, but why is it important to you?
I don't know that it's important. I just want it.
Oh.
I need it
okay.
because I think I killed hydrangeas, azaleas. What's the one with the leaves that it doesn't matter?
Most flowers have leaves, honey.
I know that, Diane. Thank you. Your sarcasm is not appreciated at this venture.
Yeah.
Ruth, I think I saw should I put your name down for the fountain pen?
I thought I'd wait till the end and see what everybody's bids were and then sort of try and sneak in.
I think you need to take some gusto.
Well, I mean, I think that's a reasonable approach. I don't think I need to compete. I think that it's fair to look at how badly somebody else wants it and just outbid them.
Sure, Ruth. Sure. She's not going to get that pin. She's leading to Diane. She's not going to get it.
I'm camping out near the sheet.
You're just hovering around it all evening.
If Jane's gonna
I've
step
got
away,
catfish.
Yeah, I'll step away. Oh, Diane, you're in trouble.
Yeah, if Jane's gonna like step away from the
Mhm.
ship in the bottle, I'm gonna outbid her.
Okay.
And then head over to the porcelain plate.
Yeah. When you get over to the porcelain plate, actually, Marjorie Buttons is standing there, and she's eyeballing this plate. She's rather bravely holding it up and is turning it
Oh
around and
no,
looking at
no, not like that.
Yeah. I'm sorry, what? And she's
Do you know how
constantly
old that is?
well, of course I know how old it is. I
Do
am
you
a
have any
collector.
idea how old that is?
I am a collector. I understand these things, I suppose.
Okay, how old is it then?
It's Well, it's very old, and I can tell you that much.
Ming Dynasty. 1368 to 1644.
Well, I intend to win this properly
Please put that
nice
down.
plate. And she's like, fine, I will do that. And then you see her go to set it down, and she starts
Oh!
to juggle it. And she does catch it before it hits the table. But there was a tense moment where you saw that.
My goodness, Marjorie, traipsing about like an elephant today, aren't we?
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Just, very interested in I'm very interested in this particular piece. And you see her, she just walks off.
She walks up. I'm gonna write my name down for in a pretty substantial bid.
Okay. Sounds good. Sounds good. Um, about this time you actually see Pauline, and she kind of leaves her position at the door, and she walks over to uh the little short lady that you don't know, who is trying to pull a painting off the wall. And Pauline goes over, and you can kind of tell that she's telling this lady to don't touch, don't touch. And this lady sheepishly walks away.
I'll walk up to Pauline. My goodness, Pauline, who are these people trying to rip paintings off of your walls?
I don't know. I've never I don't know who that is. I've never seen her before.
Oh, I
Al-
don't think I've ever seen her around town either.
Pierre seems to think that he recognizes her from somewhere, but I can't place her. I'm not sure who she is. But honestly, I mean, you don't just go around touching paintings.
No, that's
And
preposterous.
she puts this painting back on the wall.
What is it a painting of?
Well, I'm going to show you a picture. Okay.
Oh my.
Hideous.
How dare you show a picture of my parents?
Is there writing around it,
Why
or
are
is
they
that just
arguing?
kind of decorative?
That's kind of decorative, you think.
Okay.
You're not really sure. It's kind of cut off, but it's a strange looking painting. You think
Almost
it's
like
a
a
painting?
Rorschach or something. It's odd.
Yeah.
Quite
Yeah.
vulgar.
What do you think of it, Ruth? I almost kind of like it.
It's a little bit vulgar, I think. I don't know why
Strange.
you'd have those bones on your wall. I've seen those at the museum. That's not something that you want displayed.
And this is just a painting, right, Julian?
It's a painting, and it's got a little plaque on the
Yeah.
frame,
Who's the
and
artist?
it's called The Elder Wing Moth,
Mm.
and the artist is unknown.
Why do you think the captain had this?
Pauline just says, I have no idea. Myself and Alma went into the house, and we honestly, we pulled out things that we thought would make the
Sell.
most money.
Mhm.
Um,
It's oddly compelling, I think. It's strange though.
it is. It's hideous, but yet you can't not look at it at the same
It's a train
time.
wreck.
Yes, yes, it is. Yes, it is very strange.
And have you had all of this stuff authenticated, Paulina?
Honestly, no, we didn't really have a whole lot of time to
Mm.
authenticate anything. We did our best with what research we could do based on internet searches and
Mm.
making some phone calls to some professionals that I know. Some of the items that are here, I'm pretty confident about. But I have to say, this item here, I'm not sure. I don't know what it's worth. Could be worth nothing or millions.
I'll look at the bid sheet. What's it looking like right now?
The bid sheet is really surprising. It's a competition between George and somebody by the name of Lily Codswallop.
Is it pretty high bid at this time?
Yeah, they've kind of tried to outbid each other, and so they're bumping the bids pretty high. So, and they're the only two people that have bid on this particular item.
I might ask George why he wants this so badly.
Okay. Yeah. You kind of find George standing over by himself, in a position where he can watch the painting. So you kind of figure he's just there to outbid whomever. And but when you look at George, he's in kind of like jeans and a old t-shirt and a button-up shirt over top of that. And he doesn't look like he can afford the numbers he was writing on that sheet. And he's just kind of standing there, mumbling to himself a little bit. And then when you come over to him, you kind of like break him out of that mumbling a little bit. And he's like, "Oh, hi, hello."
Good evening, George. How are you doing tonight?
I'm okay. I'm okay. How
Did you
are
have
you?
some of the catering? You look like you need some food.
Well,
It's like he'd enjoy it.
yeah, I mean, that catfish looks pretty good, I have to say. I think I might go get some of that.
Bartholomew's enjoying it.
Oh, is he? And
Yeah.
he looks down and sees your cat eating it. It's like, he says, "Oh, okay, that's good."
Mm-hmm. What's your interest in that painting? I noticed that you were bidding on it. It didn't have an artist on it, so I was just curious.
Oh, that painting. Yeah, well, I can tell you, all I can tell you is that they shouldn't sell it.
Why is that?
It's cursed. Now Solomon knew. He knew. And it shouldn't sell that thing.
How how is it cursed?
Well, I don't know if I should tell you or not. I really don't. I'm not sure.
Well, I'm not intending on buying it, so this is just curiosity on my part.
You sure you're not
You
wanting to
can-
buy it?
I don't want it.
Okay. Okay. That thing was dragged from the inky depths of the void and will always want to return to the void. It will spread nothing but hatred and misery if it's allowed to do so. The thing doesn't need to be sold. I need to take that. Get rid of it.
And this void is the sea?
Well, what do you know about the Deep Reaver?
Absolutely nothing.
Is that so?
I'm excited to learn.
Okay. Let me show you something. And he takes you over to where the pictures are at. And he points to this portrait. And it's a very old portrait of a crew of men standing outside a sailing whaling ship. And he points to it and he says, these men in this picture, they're from the this is the Deep Reaver. This ship sailed out on a whaling ship and it came back with something. I don't know what it came back with, but it came back with something not natural.
So not whales.
No.
Okay. A creature or this painting?
I think they came back with a creature or part of it or all of it. I don't know. I don't know.
They have those big squid out there.
Could have been. I wasn't there.
But you know about it. It's just something you gossip about on the docks.
Oh, everybody should know about the Deep Reaver. Everybody should know about the Deep Reaver.
Okay. And that's related to this painting.
In George's mind, sure.
Okay. Yeah.
You
Fair
get
enough.
you get the impression that he genuinely means what he says, but it
Yeah.
sounds a little bit confusing. Like you don't think he's lying to you, but you're also kind of like juggling this story of, well, how does that relate to the painting? And you're not getting that from him, but
Yeah, sure.
in his mind, there's clear connections between the two.
Sure. Well, I won't buy it. That's for sure.
Good.
Okay. Thanks for your time, George. Make sure you eat something.
I will. I will.
Okay.
I'm gonna keep standing here watching them, make sure that
Okay.
whoever that is doesn't buy it.
Perfect. Take care of yourself now.
I will.
Okay.
Beware.
I'm fully aware now.
Julian. No, sorry.
yeah.
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, that's okay. I was just going to say I'm going to come back to Annabella and just relate the story of the Deep Reaver and just say I think George is off his medication.
Oh.
I think he needs some help.
Do we know what happened to Captain Heimwinkel? Was he like an elderly gentleman? Was there an accident?
He was an older man. From what you can understand, from what you know, according to what the paper said, he died of old age.
Mm.
Yeah.
Yes, I think George has spent a little too much time out on the boat.
I think so. I think the therapy is that people are doing therapy now.
And that's what I've heard anyway. Well, I think I'm going to. Is the spyglass around? I do want to.
Yep.
But if he's as crazed about that painting as you say, I'm going to bid on it then. I'd thought about it, but I think it wouldn't look very good in my parlor anyway.
What was he saying about the painting? Was it he was babbling on about it being cursed?
It's cursed.
That would just increase the value, right?
Good.
Well, I mean, I said I wasn't going to buy it, so I think that's what encouraged him to tell me.
You're not going to buy it doesn't mean I won't. So I'm gonna go.
Diane, you can't buy everything at this auction, dear.
I can try, okay?
What would Henry say?
Well, I can just call him up. He's still alive.
Well, yes, I know. What will Henry say when you bring all these items home and he sees the bank statements?
Nothing, because it's my money and I wore the pants in the relationship.
Well, spend your money how you wish, I suppose.
I will, Annabella.
Jane is gonna bustle up behind this group at this point and be like, "Excuse Ruth, were you talking with George?"
I was.
Okay. I need him to not bid on this bottle that's over there. What's his take right now? He seems drunker than usual.
I think he's focused on this painting. I think you're
Yes.
probably fine with the bottle.
Excellent. Yes, great. Great. Do any of you know a Hazim? Hazim?
No.
Do we see a Hazim? Are there name tags?
There's no name tags, but
There's
there
that
is.
man in the suit, right?
Yeah, he looks a little ethnic, perhaps.
Mm.
And he's just kind of this guy is kind of just standing off a little bit by himself. He's browsing. You don't really see him bidding on anything. He's just kind of
Not for long,
Eh.
he isn't alone.
I mean, if you yell out his name, it's the person that looks at you.
Oh my goodness.
Also, I
I'm
think
not
we
going to yell,
probably
Diane.
recognize most of the people here, except the woman who couldn't keep her dirty mitts off of the painting, and this gentleman in a suit.
Well, you three enjoy your look. I have a mission. Excuse me. Excuse me.
Is Jane the type of person that even when she's standing talking to us, she's like
Yeah,
walking in
yeah.
place?
There's
Of
like a
course.
little bit of
Of
side to
course.
side on there.
She has to get her steps in.
Yeah, and she'll just beeline towards this individual.
Okay.
Get out of the way, Marjorie. I'll talk to you later.
Marjorie just gives you a nasty look.
Excuse me. Excuse me. Are you Hazim?
My yes, I am.
It's a pleasure to meet you. I noticed that you not giving him a second to go. I noticed you were bidding on that bottle over there. Why do you think you need it?
What bottle?
The ship in the bottle?
Oh, that one. Well, I don't really need a ship in a bottle.
Oh, that's great.
I'm really just here for Pauline. I just figured I would bid on a few items just to be polite. You know,
Is
I-
Pauline up for auction? Oh, Mr. Hazim.
I'm sorry. That's very forward, ma'am.
Mm.
Ma'am. Who
Mm.
are you? Who are you again?
Jane Gustafson.
Jane, very nice to meet you, I think.
Charmed, I'm sure.
Yes. So I take it you're interested in this ship in a bottle.
Oh, yes. Very much so.
Okay. Well, I will be sure not to bid on the ship in a bottle.
That's good. I am on a fixed income, so this sort of thing, if it gets too pricey, could leave me destitute, and nobody wants that, right, Hazim?
Oh no. We don't want that. No.
Mhm.
No, absolutely not.
Good. Good man. Good man. Here, have a candy.
Oh, thank you. And he takes it from you. Kind of looks at it.
Annabella, Ruth.
What is it,
Bustle.
Jane? What is it?
Pauline has a suitor.
Well, now, I did think she had the
She's-
glow of young love about
I
her.
know. She and this man in the suit over there are in a sordid affair.
A sordid affair. Now, Jane, it sounds a little bit like you've been reading just a little too many romance novels, dear.
I have to get my, romance somewhere now that Gregory has passed.
Let the young people have their fun and don't be such a gossip.
Doesn't mean I can't watch.
Jane, I didn't take you for a voyeur.
Well, when you're out walking, you see certain things.
You know, I think you could probably tuck away that auction sheet in that drawer that the ship in the bottle is sitting on, and then no one would be the wiser. You just slip it out and put it back on the table right before the auction ends.
But what's the fun in that?
Okay, miss, I'm a pensioner and near destitute.
Oh, come off it. That's just a thing I tell people. The settlement is more than enough. I can afford a ship in a bottle or two. Marjorie, I know you're not about to go to the bathroom. Excuse me. Bustle.
I'm going to seek out my spyglass, which I've been trying to do now for like since I arrived.
20 minutes. Yeah, you find this nice looking spyglass. It's one that you kind of have to pull open.
Telescoping, yeah.
Yeah. Mahogany exterior with some nice brass. It looks very nice, actually.
Ooh, exquisite.
Looks
Yes,
very
I
nice.
will definitely put a bid in on that.
Okay.
And is this Lily woman kind of one of the only people we don't recognize aside from Mr. Hazim?
Yeah. Everybody else in the room, you've either met or know.
Well, then I will wander up to, yeah, I'll grab a cocktail for myself and one for her, and I'll wander up and, you know, offer it to her.
Okay.
Sidecar.
She kind of like, oh, thanks.
I don't believe I know you, dear. My name is Annabella Lafleur.
Oh, no, I'm not from around here. No. But it's nice to meet you. I'm Lily Codswallop.
Yes, I know it is. And it's good to meet you too, Lily.
Oh, nice to meet you. What are you interested in?
Oh, the spyglass, I should think. I think it would make a fine addition to my collection. How about yourself?
Oh, well, I'm looking at those four balloon back chairs with whaling scenes carved on them.
Oh, I saw that you seemed quite interested in that painting over there. It did a bit of an odd painting, I have to say, but it does catch the eye.
Oh,
Would
yeah,
look quite nice in the foyer somewhere.
yes, I was looking at it. I was wanting to look at the back to see if there was maybe a name written on the back of the painting
Well, like the artist's signature?
or something. Yeah, like that. Yeah, I didn't see anything.
Is she a young woman or closer to like my age? What's the kind of demographic at this auction?
Um, Lily is Lily's probably in her late 30s, early 40s.
Okay.
The twins themselves are probably in their early 30s. Um, as is Halma or
Mhm.
Alma Heimwinkel. Marjorie Buttons is probably in her late 40s, early 50s.
Okay.
Hazim is also the same age, roughly the same age as Pauline and Pierre. And George is going to be about y'all's age.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Nigel is younger guy. And then Lee is probably early 20s. Yeah.
Well, tell me, dear, what brings you to Brindlewood Bay? I don't think I've seen you around town.
Oh, I came for the auction. I
Truly.
heard
How
of
far did you come?
oh I live with I live in Mucky Point, which is just but you guys know Mucky Point, which is just up the way. Strange folk live in Mucky
Oh,
Point.
Lucky Point. Hmm.
Yeah. Have
That's so.
you
Mhm.
ever been to Mucky Point?
Oh, you know, just driving through. Not
Oh,
really. I've not visited. It seems like a very rustic little town, quaint.
yeah, it's got a lighthouse and a couple small businesses. Yeah, my
Mm.
brothers own some businesses there. Yeah.
So all this
Codswallop.
way for an auction? How interesting. Did you know the captain? What are you hoping to get? The those chairs?
Oh yeah, I was looking at those chairs and
I must say, if you're after the ship in the bottle, dear, it's a lost cause.
oh really?
I think we can like pan over and Jane is like glaring daggers at anyone that gets a little too close.
Oh, is your friend a little bit obsessed?
Intense. She's just intense, dear.
I understand. I understand. Yeah. Did you see the nice 19th century sterling silver tea set?
Very beautiful.
Yes.
So I'm sorry, I interrupted you there. You said you wanted the furniture, the chairs, that portrait, that painting.
Yes, yes. Yeah, I saw the ad in the paper about the auction, and there were a few pictures, and so I saw uh the painting and a few other things, like I said, and yeah.
Is it true? I heard there's some kind of rumor that it's cursed.
Oh no. No.
No, oh, you don't think that?
No, I don't think that at all. I think that's a bit silly. No. No,
Yes, I suppose that is true.
yeah, well, I will say, to be honest with you, there is a bit of a personal interest with that painting. It's related to the family, actually. We
Do tell.
go way back with that particular painting. Yeah.
Oh, someone in your family painted it.
I don't know if they painted it, but I do know that we once owned that painting.
Very interesting. What happened? How did it fall out of the family possession?
Not entirely sure. I believe it was by marriage, and the property sort of got divided that way, perhaps. And um, I don't know. I don't want to talk out of turn about family and what they do and don't do.
Oh, well, I'm not a gossip, dear. You can tell me whatever it is that you think. It will not leave beyond the two of us, this conversation.
Yeah. Are you hunting for particular information from this lady?
Yeah, I just want to know more about this painting and like why she's so obsessed with it and
Yeah.
the
I
family
think
history there.
I think that's a meddling move at
Okay,
that
yeah, that
point.
feels fair.
She's being a little cagey
Yeah,
with
sure.
this. Yeah.
All right, I get to meddle. Let's see. So 2d6.
2d6 and presence with presence.
That is with my presence and 11.
Ooh, nice. Okay. Yeah. And so she'll kind of like lean in a little bit. And she'll say, well, my family goes way back.
Mm-hmm.
And we've got some relations to many of the founders of Brindlewood Bay.
Oh.
And I'm sure you've heard of the Deep Reaver.
Yes, I have in fact heard of it. I don't know much about it.
Yes, several of the crew members of the Deep Reaver went on and became very important figures here in Brindlewood Bay. There are several heirlooms around that different family members have, and this is just one of those that I'm trying to keep in the family.
An antique from one of the founding families of Brindlewood Bay. How fascinating.
Mm.
Did she ever take the drink? Because if she didn't, I'm just like, I'm drinking both of them.
She did take it, but you can see she's not
Yeah, she's not
drinking from
drinking
it.
it.
She's
Okay.
just holding it.
Okay.
But she's just trying to be polite and everything.
Of course.
Okay.
Well, dear, I have that the man that you seem to be in a bit of a bidding war with, George. He's a dear friend of mine. So if you feel like if you need
if you need someone to sway him one way or the other, I might be able to help with that.
Oh, that would be very helpful. Very helpful indeed.
Well, let's keep chatting. There's a few hours left in this auction, and yeah, we'll if you need me to step in, maybe I can help.
Okay. And she'll thank you and kind of saunter off toward the catering table.
Immediately, I'm going over to Ruth. Ruth, that ghastly painting apparently belonged to one of the founding families of Brindlewood Bay.
Oh, so it was related to the Deep Reaver then. George wasn't totally crazy.
Yes, the crew members of this ship became important figures in Brindlewood Bay, apparently. I've not heard of it. You're more of a historian than I am. Have you ever heard of anything like that? I don't know of the Deep Reaver.
That wasn't quite my area. It was more natural history than nautical history.
I'm not even from this area. And no, Jane moved from here as well. Who among the four of us has like lived in Brindlewood Bay the longest? I think Jane and myself kind of retired here.
Yeah.
Ruth, have
I
you
think,
lived here?
I retired here as well.
Okay.
I think I said I lived here. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. I'll have to say that Ruth probably has heard stories about the Deep Reaver having
Okay.
been, especially if you're working in the history area. You didn't work for the Whaling Museum, but you worked for the Natural History Museum. So, still, folklore and stuff comes along.
Sure.
So yeah, but you're aware of the Deep Reaver and that it was a whaling ship that brought something back.
Okay.
But it was never really detailed what they brought back.
Any ghost stories that I would have told tour guide or tours? It's the word I'm looking for.
Yeah. Yeah, there's a lot of different things. Most of the ghost stories center around sort of a like a giant squid kind of creature that they encountered.
Okay.
And then it gets embellished from there.
Sure. I'm sure we've got like a whale at the Natural History Museum hanging from the ceiling.
Yep.
So
Yep.
that probably leads to that conversation as we go into the whale room.
Yeah, because although Brindlewood Bay today doesn't have a whaling industry, it did at one time, and it was a pretty important industry for Brindlewood Bay.
Okay.
Yeah. So as you all guys kind of walk around and whatnot, the day gets on, and that's when Pierre kind of sounds a bell and says to everybody, "Okay, there's 1 hour left of bidding, and then we're going to call it. So if there's something here that you want, make sure your name is on it with the highest bid."
Staking out the fountain pen.
Okay.
I'm honestly, the spyglass is nice, but I am kind of watching the drama of this portrait, so I'm more focused on that.
Yeah. And you can see that there's no interaction between George and Lily. Like they don't talk to each other, but you'll see one go up and write, and then the other one goes up and writes, and then goes up and writes. So it's kind of a back and forth kind of thing. And then Diane and Marjorie are going at it with the Ming Dynasty salad plate.
Don't touch that, please. Stop.
I'd like to, if I can like distract Marjorie at some point, I would love to try to help Diane. Marjorie, darling, come. Tell me, how is your delightful daughter doing these days?
That hussy is off in California.
Oh my God. My goodness.
In California, you say? What is she doing there? Does she have a new
don't-
beau?
Oh my God. She's got a new one every week, it seems like.
But these young ladies, they just have minds of their own. I must tell you, my Maxine is exactly the same way, traipsing across Prague, a new man every week, or woman, the young people these days.
Honestly, she thinks she's going to be some kind of actress. I don't know. I don't think she's going to end up in anything, but whatever.
I'll kind of like egg her on with this conversation. I'm just trying to keep her away from Diane's plate.
Yeah. Yeah, and you can definitely keep her occupied to for the duration of the bidding process. And you hear this grandfather clock starts to chime the hour, and Pierre comes up and he says, "Okay, thanks everyone for bidding. We're going to take up the tally sheets, and then we're going to announce the winners of the auction." So isn't that wonderful?
Mm-hmm.
And that's when you see Lee come up to Pierre. Or did I say Paul? Did I say Pauline by accident? Or did I say Pierre was the one that made the announcement?
I think you said Pierre made the
I think it was Pierre, yeah.
I think it was Pierre. Okay. The names sometimes get me confused. Yeah. Lee comes up to Pierre, and there's like a little bit of a conversation between the two of them. And then Pierre says to the crowd, "Has anyone seen Pauline?" And you all look around the room, and Pauline's nowhere to be found.
And the Mr. Hazim, is he also missing?
Nope. He's right there in the room with you. So Pierre and Lee go on a search, and rather kind of comically, I guess, everybody goes with them. So it's kind of like this big long train.
Right, sure. We're looking.
all the way around. And that's when you guys end up outside in the alleyway. And the alleyway is behind yeah, there it is. Yeah. The alleyway is between the antique shop and the coffee shop. And that's where you guys find Pauline. And she is lying on the ground, and she is dead.
My goodness.
Call 911 quickly. An ambulance, the police.
Oh yeah, definitely a call to the sheriff's office is put in. And now you guys know that really doesn't give you a whole lot of time to be the only ones investigating this particular murder. So you've got a little bit of a window on the sheriff's office.
Well, is it obvious what happened to her? Is there
Do we
blood? Is
suspect
there a
foul
gunshot
play?
wound? Yeah.
Yeah, cause of death on this is pretty obvious. She shows signs of strangulation, and there are also defensive wounds.
People just keep getting murdered when we're
Oh
around.
my goodness. Well, we've dealt with this before, ladies. I'll check the pockets. And she'll just bustle up to it. Start.
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
I
now,
also,
now who could have done that? Is everyone else accounted for?
Mm,
well, that's the thing. If you kind of think back on it, and you try to place it in your mind, when was the last time you saw Pauline? And you're not 100% sure. And so it's at this moment, you're not sure how long she's been out here,
Ah,
who
Mhm.
might have been able to have done
someone may
this.
have had time to like come out and then come back in.
Yeah, so there's a time element here that you're just not aware of at the moment. But in the alleyway along with you, there's also this large green dumpster right there as well. But Jane, you said you were going to dive through her pockets.
yes, of course.
Okay. Yeah, I'm going to give you a clue for diving through her pockets. And
They always leave clues behind in the pockets. That's rule 101.
yeah,
That's very textbook.
they certainly do. And you can never find it when you want to find it. Oh, yeah, you find a letter in her pocket,
Ooh.
which is an acceptance of a job application for Pauline. So she's been accepted for a job in Boston.
Do you let everyone know about that?
Yes,
thing?
yes, a letter from Boston. It appears that she's looking to escape Brindlewood Bay. Well, I'm sorry you did, dear. Pat on the back.
Pierre, did you know about this?
Pierre is shocked. And he just Pierre is like, no, I had no idea.
Is there a way to get like a sense of the crowd? Is everyone shocked, upset? Is somebody like, faking it, or you know what I mean? Like kind of getting a sense for how everyone is reacting.
Yeah, go ahead and do like
Is that a meddling move or
yeah, we're kind of gonna let it go as a
or
meddling
night
move.
I mean, if you feel like it's risky.
I don't think it's that risky. You're just kind of
Okay.
trying to get a read on people.
Okay. Meddling move?
Yeah, meddling move with reason.
Okay. Oh, no, 5.
Okay. Yeah, when you look around the crowd, you can see a variety of reactions.
Mm-hmm.
Lily probably gives the most, I guess, distant because she's not
Not
from here, but she does look concerned. So everybody does tend to have that concerned look to them. They certainly do. Yeah. But Paul, or not Paul, but Pierre says, he did not know about her job acceptance.
What about you, Mr. Hazim?
It's always the lovers, isn't it?
It usually is 9 times out of 10.
Well, I mean, I didn't know about the job application. I was hoping I wanted her to get out of this town, but not like this.
Now, what exactly is the nature of your relationship, young man?
Well, we're kind of not in a relationship right now. We're taking a break, an extended break.
But here you are supporting Pauline, dear Pauline.
Yeah, I mean, I'm hopeful. I'm hopeful as always.
I mean, you don't have to be hopeful anymore.
Well, I
My
guess not.
God, Diane.
He's a
Do
suspect.
you have any reason to think that someone would have wanted to harm Pauline?
I have no idea. Not that I'm aware of. I mean, we've had arguments in the past, but they were never really that kind of arguments. I don't know.
And where are
Strangulation
you?
is pretty personal.
And where are you from, Hazim?
I'm from New York.
Hmm. So not Boston.
No, I don't live in Boston. No.
And New Yorkers have a bad opinion of Bostonians, from what I recall.
Is that so? Oh,
Hmm.
well, I've
Sounds like
always
motive to me.
I've always liked the people from Boston, honestly.
Go Red Sox. Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, at any rate, none of us should be leaving the space until, we've got this solved or the auction is over.
Darling, the auction is over. It has been declared.
Not
Come, we
official.
can all go inside and enjoy the delightful delicacies that have been prepared for us this evening.
Yeah. Okay. So in terms of places that you can look in, did anybody happen to look in the dumpster?
I would think we would be looking thoroughly around the area in general.
Okay.
Mhm.
So which one of you would like to have looked into dumpster?
I'll look in the dumpster.
Okay. Okay, so this is a paint the scene kind of thing.
Somebody give me a boost.
Yeah.
Whatcha?
You find something entirely shocking in the dumpster. Something that doesn't belong. What is it?
Oh. Uh, what doesn't belong?
Yeah.
Pierre.
Yeah.
It's Pierre's dead body.
What
How
doesn't
did he
belong in
die?
the dumpster? I mean, okay. My first instinct is more auction items that somebody have stashed out here that didn't make it into the auction. So maybe something that Pierre or Pauline were keeping for themselves to sell on the side.
Okay. We'll put that down as a clue.
Right.
Abandoned auction items.
Stashed.
Yeah, or stashed. Yeah. I like it. Okay. But the other places that you can search in this building, there's Pauline's room, Pierre's room, and there is also a storage room as well.
I'll go to Pauline's room.
I'm gonna go into the storage room, sneak my way in there.
Ruth, is there
Mhm.
one that you would prefer?
I think all that's left is Pierre's room, right? Or the main room.
Suppose so. I was considering going around and collecting the auction sheets so that there's no tomfoolery with that.
I will go to Pierre's room then. Mr. Bow and I will sniff for clues.
Okay.
Oh, that's right. Your cat's still here.
Gordon Shumway.
Why does it smell like fried fish to you?
I also brought cat food, so it also smells like cat food. That's unhealthy. I'm not going to feed him only fried fish.
So that wasn't the alleyway. I see.
I'm opening a can. It's past his dinner time. He'll be absolutely insufferable if I don't feed him now.
My history with Siamese cats would lead me to think that he will always be insufferable, Ruth.
Yeah, not very stealthy. It's kind of loud.
Jane eyes the cat and heads out.
All right.
Okay, so Diane was going to the storeroom. Annabella was going to Pierre's room,
Pauline's room.
Pauline's room, and then the other two were going to Pierre's room.
Uh, yeah. Well, I'm going to Pierre's room. Sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Jane was collecting. I know what she was doing. She was collecting
Yeah, I'm
things.
collecting
Okay.
things from the other room.
Yeah, no problem. Okay. Okay. So let's actually start with Jane. So you start to collect up
Mhm.
the things. And Lee is
Kinda-
there with you. And Lee is the assistant to Pierre and Pauline,
Ah,
helping to
okay.
run the store. And so she's going to help you kind of get all this together and gather everything up.
Mhm.
Yeah. And but she says to you, well, who do you think would have done this?
Well, it would have to be someone strong enough to strangle someone. It's I'm not going to say it, but I don't think many of the people here have the strength necessary for it, or the strict regimen necessary. I
Well,
suspect George could, maybe Hazim. And she starts like eyeing up the people like Marjorie doesn't have it in her. She's weak.
you're
Alma, she's a little young, I think.
well, I mean, Alma and Pauline were best friends.
Oh, is that so?
Oh yes. Yeah, they were very close friends. And Alma and Pauline worked together extensively on this estate sale,
Hmm,
getting everything set up.
I
Yeah.
suppose that makes sense. She's kind of looking. Is Alma still on her phone?
Yeah, Alma's she's kind of on and off her phone.
Hmm.
She's talking to people, text messaging. Looks like she's on, doing whatever it is people do when they fiddle with their phones.
One second, I think I've seen this. Lee, you can come along, Lee. Alma, dear, were you streaming? Were you doing a stream?
Uh, no, I was. Well, I mean, I was taking some pictures. Yeah.
Oh, wonderful. Let me see. Let me see. Swipe. Do the swipe.
She she does the thing I did to Holly at last Necronomicon where I just sort of hit the button and all the pictures go everywhere.
Darling, I can't see them that fast. One at a time, one at a time.
I'm sorry. All right. I'm just
Goodness.
really really nervous. I'm sorry.
Do I make you nervous? Or is it
Um
because your friend's dead?
both.
Hmm. Jane gives her the look and is like, hmm. Let's start flipping through these and see. Maybe you've caught someone going out to the alleyway.
Yeah. And you start to look through the photos and they're not very good photos. It's clear that Alma was not really paying attention to what she was doing when she was
My
taking these
goodness.
photos. Yeah.
Dear,
Yeah.
you have no future in photography, I'm afraid.
Yeah. Interestingly though, you do catch one of the photos, which is actually a really bad photo, but you can see in the background
Hmm?
that it's pretty obvious that Hazim and Lily are having a conversation with each other,
Oh.
which seems odd given the interactions you've had with the two of them.
Mm-hmm. Hmm. Interesting. Very good. Yes. Send that to me.
Okay, yeah, I can send this to you.
Excuse me, Mr. Hazim. Mr. Hazim.
Yes, ma'am.
Us-
Yes. I have not bid on
Lee, check the sheet. Check the one from the bottle. Yeah. Anyways, Mr. Hazim, I can't help but notice that you were discussing with Lily. Does your eye wander so quickly, Mr. Hazim?
I'm sorry. Who?
A man driving all the way from New York should only have eyes for his beau, as the case may be, not the cat.
I don't know what you're talking about. She was just asking me a question about one of the pieces of artwork that were here.
And why would you know anything about the pieces of artwork, Mr. Hazim?
I actually don't. I'm a fashion designer by profession.
Oh dear.
But for some reason she was asking me about some artwork. I don't know why.
Looks up and down. Well, at least you're dressed nicely enough. Some fashion designers have no fashion whatsoever. Hmm.
We'll take a pause and we're gonna shift up to Pauline's room.
Okay.
Okay. It's poorly lit. Stacks of books and boxes are everywhere. Very simple, very utilitarian. And as you kind of look around the room, what are some things that you see that gives you the impression that maybe Pauline's thoughts have been filled with darkness lately?
Oh. She was working on a painting and it looks like a sad, it's abstract, but there's a sadness to it. The colors that she uses, there's like a darkness to it. Similar to the painting that we saw, the strange painting. It just seems odd. Like maybe that was on her mind when she was painting this.
Okay.
And there's like tucked in her closet, there's a box. Like she's already started packing things to move, but hidden away, like she didn't want anyone to know about it.
Okay. And as you kind of like look through the room, um, is there any kind of direction that you're trying to search?
I'm trying to get an idea for like the personal stuff. So I'm going through her nightstand. Like, she had any correspondences with anyone that would, hint at like a troubled relationship of some kind. So yeah, I'm looking for like the personal relationship side of it. If I can find anything that hints toward that, a diary or.
Okay. Yes. Yeah, you do find you find a diary.
Okay.
And we'll say that this is kind of like a clue.
Okay.
And kind of near the end of the diary, you read some passages where she's talking about expressing her worry about him finding out that she lied. And she doesn't really explain who him is. She just refers to it as him.
Okay. I like personally, I'm just assuming it's Hazim and maybe she's having like an affair or she didn't tell him that she was moving or something like that. So,
Yeah.
And
To
there's no
complicate,
mention of him and anywhere else.
No, you can find some other references to Hazim that are specifically stated
By
Hazim.
name. Okay. Hmm.
And you get the impression that they had sort of an on again, off again kind of relationship.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah.
Then my thoughts might even pivot to like Pierre too. Like maybe they had some kind of falling out between the two of them. Like he's angry that she's leaving. Maybe he actually knew she was leaving and he's playing dumb.
Yeah.
And
Yeah,
there was a
and
fight about it.
yeah, and you kind of know just from like their habits that Pierre really never is seen in public without her, without Pauline.
Ah, okay. Yeah, they've got
Um,
that the twin thing going on. And quite frankly, they're getting far too old for that. So maybe she wanted a little independence and he was stuck in the past.
yeah, yeah. You've actually heard a rumor about Pierre is that the reason that Lee was hired was to keep Pierre from buying up all the shit that people would come in with.
Hmm. Hmm.
Yeah. And yeah, oh, and yeah. So what about else? Anything else that you think about?
Let me think.
Do you want me to come back?
Anything related to the Boston move aside from the box of packed items that I found?
You do find a business card of an
Okay.
antique dealer that's
Oh,
in Boston.
okay. And it was a museum, like a museum of fine art that we found out she'd gotten a job with, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Or I didn't really say where it was that she got a job, but
Okay.
we can kind of be a little bit flexible with that
Okay. Okay.
particular clue, however you want to fit.
Okay. And I had one more question that was kind of on my mind, but
I can come back to
it's
you.
gone. Yeah. Yeah, you can come back. That's fine.
I'll do that. Okay. Um, let's shift across the hall to Pierre's room.
Okay.
Yeah. It's plush carpets, light and airy, sage green brocade wallpaper on the walls. What are some things in this room that give you the impression that this man lives in the past?
Um, you have photos of himself and Pauline when they were kids. Um, if they'd grown apart over the years, maybe he'd be reminiscing about when they were closer. Maybe when they hadn't defined their styles as well, maybe when they still dressed very similarly, or at least in similar styles. Probably paintings of their parents, maybe that Pauline had painted when she wasn't painting things that were sad. Maybe reminiscing about when they were closer.
Okay. Yeah, I like that. Like that. And so as you're going through his room, kind of what is your direction as far as searching is concerned?
Looking for the nature of their relationship, if he really didn't know that she wanted to leave, if there are any sort of indications that he knew that she was looking to get out.
Okay. You you find it's, I'm trying to take these sort of vague clues that I've got and fit them into this uh thing that I've got. Um, you find yeah, I'm going to go with this. You find a newspaper article actually, and it's talking about the death of the twins' parents. And it appears that the parents died in a car accident, actually. And it was deemed to be an accident, but somehow both of the twins survived the accident.
Okay. Okay.
Yeah. Yeah, and the other thing that I was kind of laughing about was you find this photo, and it's Pauline on one side, and it's clearly not Pierre on the other side, but the face has been changed so that it's Pierre's face.
Okay.
That's enough for me. That's lock him up.
That's creepy.
I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It presented itself, and that's what I thought of.
Arts and crafts.
Arts and crafts.
Great.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's enough.
Okay. We'll get down. We'll go down to Diane in the storage room. Yeah. And
I'm crawling through vents. No. No.
yeah, you come into this place, and it's like just creepy.
That's creepy.
Yeah, it's creepy. Like what's in here that's giving you the creeps? Not to mention, this is like one strip of fluorescent light down the ceiling, dusty furniture, just stacks of unopened crates, just all kinds of stuff in here that's just kind of creepy.
Yeah, and you know what's creepy about it? In the corner, tucked away in the darkness, is an entire cabinet. And when you open it up, it's full of like facial prosthetics and makeup.
Oh, that is bad. That is
Hell
really
yeah,
bad.
it is.
That is really bad. Yeah. Okay. So, what's sort of your direction for searching through this space?
I can see the facial prosthetics and the makeup through, like, let's say a glass window
Yeah.
of that cabinet. I want to get into the cabinet itself
Okay.
for more clues.
Okay. Yeah, you kind of look around and past the eyeballs and the
Is it locked?
no,
All right, that's good.
no. No, it's not. It's unlocked. But yeah, you're kind of searching around. Yeah, and you find like a collection of hypodermic needles.
Whoa. Are they full of anything or just empty?
No, they seem to be unused
That's
hypodermic
good.
needles. It's kind of
Yeah, I
strange.
don't like that.
Yeah. The other thing that you kind of find is you actually are, as you're kind of walking around in here, you kind of find some muddy footprints, which seems really odd.
Oh, that is odd. Did it rain recently?
Yeah, it rained about a day or so ago.
Okay.
Yeah.
So is this in the basement?
No, it's on the same level. It's kind of like in a
Okay.
back room
Is there a back
area.
door?
Yeah. Yeah, there would be a
Alright.
back door.
So I'm assuming the footprints come from the back door.
Yeah.
And in that case, I'll open the back door.
Okay. It brings you out into the alley
Okay.
where you found Pauline's Pauline's body.
And is there like a mud puddle between the alleyway and the back door?
Yeah, this whole back alley is not paved.
Okay.
It's just kind of gravelly dirt with lots of potholes in it.
As I step outside, I'm gonna close the door. Does it lock behind me automatically?
It does not lock automatically. No.
Okay, so it was opened.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so anyone could have used it. That's...
Yeah. Anybody could have come in and out. It was not locked.
Are the shoes gone?
Yeah, you don't find any shoes anywhere.
Okay.
Yeah.
But
Kinda
this
looks-
might be the footprints of the murderer.
Yeah, it kind of looks like they got partway in and then they sort of wiped their feet and then
Okay.
kept going.
That's definitely a clue because you can match the shoe size.
Back down to Jane. One thing that you kind of like, one thing that Lee brings to your attention is that looks like that one of the bid sheets has been or actually more than one of the bid sheets has been fiddled with.
Oh no.
Yep. Looks like somebody's been
Interesting.
changed. Looks like somebody's been changing the numbers on your ship in a bottle.
What the Diane? Well, that was a mistake. She writes her name in real quick. Yeah, that's interesting though, is whose bids are being changed?
It looks like that especially on the Elder Wing,
Mm-hmm.
somebody has went back and modified George's bids to look lower than they are.
Interesting. Who was winning at the time of this murder though?
It looked like Lily was the top bidder on that Elder Wing. Moth.
Oh, interesting. Well, that seems like she's kind of looking at Lily. Is Lily like what's she up to at the moment? She just chill?
Yeah, you kind of have to kind of look around for her a little bit. But yeah, she's kind of like found a chair, one of those balloon chairs, and is kind of sitting in it really quietly.
She shouldn't be sitting on that. Those I haven't sold yet. But if she's distracted, now I didn't go look at this painting. It looks like modern art, and I'll have no part of it. But I am curious why Lily wants it so bad. It seems like maybe she. Why would George modify his? She's going to go up and start looking around for like foul play or people messing with this painting.
Yeah, you go over to where the painting is. It's gone, but the frame is sitting there on the floor.
Oh my goodness, did they cut it out? Does it look like, or did they pop the frame open?
They popped the frame open. Yeah. Popped the frame
Oh
open
my
and took it out.
goodness.
Yeah.
The sheer gall. All right, a painting is on the loose. Nobody move. Everybody turn out your backpacks and whatnot.
And everybody kind of looks at you like you're crazy. And
I'm sorry. I must have been too quiet. Pierre, get me a mic.
he's like, I'm sorry. We don't have anything like that
My
here.
God. Two-bit
Um,
establishment.
Just wait until the police get here. It'll
Pierre,
be
someone has stolen the prize painting. And if we don't check their pockets at this very moment, they might get away with it.
I mean, people are gonna crab at you that you don't have a warrant or any of that stuff.
I'm sorry? Why would I need that?
It's legal.
I don't have time to explain this to you, Pierre. I need you to go start looking around for a canvas. Okay? And if
Okay.
anybody tells you that they're not going to turn out their pockets, I need you to arrest them.
Okay. All right. All right. I'll do that. And he kind of saunters off a little bit.
Mhm.
Yeah.
And she will start kind of stalking around behind people and kind of because like this painting was pretty decent sized, right? Like
Yeah, it was probably oh shoot.
okay. So yeah,
Yeah.
you could
Not
bundle up.
huge. Not huge, but it was yeah.
Yeah, she's walking around and flipping open like any like satchels. She'll just flip the top open while she walks by. If somebody has a pant leg that looks a little like put out, she'll smack it one time and see if it looks like it has a painting shoved up it.
Yeah. George will act like he's gonna take a swing at you if you try that stuff with him. 'Cause he's a little bit
George, I don't want to have to do this again.
yeah.
George, show me your pockets.
And he'll pull out his pockets and he doesn't have it.
Hmm. Very good. George, do you know why someone might have changed your numbers? Did you change your numbers?
Change my bid. No. No. Did I win?
No, of course you didn't win, George.
Oh shit. Damn it.
And the painting's gone too.
What?
You
We gotta
didn't
find it.
You didn't steal it because you didn't win, did you?
No.
Okay. All right, George. You get a pass this time. I don't know. Okay, you help. Go help Pierre. We need to find this painting.
Okay.
And she is going to just continue to harass people for a while until the others regroup.
Yeah. Yeah, and so as Pierre kind of walks off, that's when he just goes up to his room and he kind of runs into Ruth.
Hello.
Hi, what are you doing?
I was trying to find the bathroom.
Oh. Well,
Do you
we
have a litter
one.
box here?
No. No, we don't have any pets.
Oh.
So, do you not
I
carry
wouldn't go in the bathroom.
Oh.
That's not where the bathroom is? I
Well,
get confused sometimes.
there is a bath. I have a bathroom. Yes, in my apartment here. Yes, I have a bathroom in my apartment.
Oh,
Yes.
okay.
But with the ones that we let customers use are downstairs.
Oh, Mr. Bo doesn't like public washrooms.
Okay.
He doesn't use public washrooms. I don't know why you'd expect that.
Well, I mean, I was. Is your cat toilet trained?
Most days. Today, yes.
Good, 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 good. Yes, anyway, well, you can exit my bedroom if you
Do you
would.
have something to hide?
Don't we all?
No, I'm an open book.
Interesting. Interesting. Yes. Do you know what I
What are you
most
hiding?
Well, I don't have anything to hide that I know of.
You just said that everyone has something to hide.
Well, that's true. I think so. People tell me a lot of stories. That's the one thing I love about my job is people come in and tell me their stories about their objects. I really, really get a lot out of that.
Mm-hmm. Every object has a history. That's for sure.
Yes. But I'm just a little bit distraught at the moment. I just lost my sister, and I'm not entirely sure what I'm going to do without her.
Is this the first time that you lost her?
I mean, we've had our differences from time to time, but we've always come back together. We've always come back as one.
Mhm.
And so it's just been it's just going to be very difficult for me to just not have her here. So I don't know what to do.
Would you say that you'd do anything to keep her here?
Well, I mean, yes, I mean, we're we've been unshakable and since we were born. So it's just I don't know. I just can't see a future without her.
Well, I mean, adults are adults. You can't keep people around forever. People have to live their lives.
Well, that's true. That is true. But I just don't like change, you know.
And you really didn't know that she was planning on leaving?
I well, I suppose in hindsight, maybe I could have, now that I think about it, there are some things that some signs. But at the time I didn't.
And did you know about her relationship with Hazim?
Yes. Oh yes. Yes, I knew about Hazim. He's nice enough. I don't think they got along very well together. Um, you know. She got along very well with Alma. You know, Alma was a very good friend of hers. And they seemed to get along very well together.
Uh, I mean, well, I appreciate your time. Uh, I appreciate your time.
Yeah.
I hope that you overcome this loss and you come through this uh, without too much impacting on your business.
Well, to be honest, Pauline was the business. I'm not very good with business.
Hmm.
Yeah, I'm more of the face talking to people kind of thing.
Oh.
That's my
Are, are you sure?
Yeah, yeah, absolutely. Just
Okay.
talk to Marjorie. She would come in all the time, and chat and have various trinkets and baubles to sell and um yeah, I mean, it was very common for me to talk to people. I enjoyed the conversations and the stories. I very much appreciated the stories.
So it would be to your disadvantage to have Pauline gone,
Oh yes,
if we're being
yes,
frank.
yes. To be frank, I am not. I am not a numbers person. Um, yeah, I'm very. I do not understand the business side of things at all.
Surely you have some knowledge of it. This has been in your family the whole time.
Well, yes, I mean, but Pauline was able to manage the accounting and the comments. Yes,
It's harassment.
it really is.
A woman is dead.
I mean, I suppose maybe, well, maybe Lee could help me. Um, I don't know. Maybe she would be good at business. Hmm.
Hmm.
I mean, she was very good at you know, she seemed to be very good at that sort of thing.
Sure. I mean, you probably should talk to her then.
Yes, yes. Um, I'll do that. I'll go do that. It sounds like a good plan.
I'll walk you down.
Okay, thank you.
Just keep him out of his room. I don't know why.
Mm. Hmm. Are we all kind of back together? Well, actually, I know what I would like. I would like to know what Mr. Hasim's last name is.
Mm.
If we don't know that, I'd like to inquire.
Mashwani.
Him could be initials. Hazim Mashwani.
Mm.
The I in the middle. Maybe a middle name. So maybe she was code naming him in her journal.
Could be.
I'll bring that to everyone's attention too. Just the entries and
Yeah, so we do have 6 clues, right? We know
Uh,
crew members became important members. Oh, Julian, am I wrong? Is it 5?
It's more than that.
So those who play Brindlewood Bay,
Mhm.
there's always more clues than you expect. So
Yeah.
here's what I have. Crew members of the Deep Reaver became important figures. We have the acceptance letter from Boston for Pauline. We
Yeah.
have the stashed auction items.
Yep.
We have Pauline's diary, in which she worries about him finding out that she lied. We have an article about the possibly suspicious death of the Albertines, and a collection of hypodermic needles, unused.
do they have something in them?
No.
They did not.
Empty. Okay.
You also have the muddy footprints
Yes.
Ah,
as well, and a business card with the
Right.
antique dealers on it too.
ah.
I'd like to give this antique dealer a call.
It's like 9 o'clock at night.
That's okay.
Okay.
They can take my call.
There's a murder.
Yeah.
Now they may not be open. I
Yeah.
accept that risk.
Pauline is dead. Click. They should know.
Hired
Also,
ahead.
it might be worth looking into the relationship between her and Alma. So
Yeah, you call and you get a voicemail. Thank you for calling.
yeah, of course. I'll
Mm.
tell them to call me back at this number.
Yeah.
I mean, I'd like to let you, the others know, like, the painting is gone, and I've been kicking shins and nobody has it, which means they stashed it somewhere.
And it wasn't in the dumpster, Jane.
Well, I didn't go back out and look again, did I?
No, with the bric-a-brac that was already in there.
Fine, I'll go look at the disgusting dumpster.
Did you check
Did-
Lily?
Who?
Lily?
I
Lily?
I think I definitely. Well, she has been sitting down. Do you think she's sitting on it?
She could be.
That would be the kind of thing a codswaddle would do. Codswallop.
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 Yeah.
Excuse me. She'll not. She doesn't want to go look at the dumpster again, so she'll go up to Lily. Hi, Lily. So pleased to meet you. And she'll stand about a foot back and hold out her hand so that Lily has to stand up.
Yeah. And Lily kind of looks at you like weirdly and does stand up and shake your hand.
Good, good.
Yeah, and there's nothing in the seat.
Damn it. Lily, would it distress you to know that your painting is missing?
What?
Okay, that seems genuine. Hmm.
Yeah.
Drat.
Did
Yes,
you
you're-
leave? Did you leave the wooden frame where it was?
Yes. Yes,
Okay.
she did. She's no art connoisseur, this Jane. She's like, well, yes, somebody took the painting and somebody was modifying bids on it. I don't suppose that was you, was it? And your
No,
interest in fashion?
no. Fashion? And you kind of look at her and no, there's no fashion with this lady.
Isn't that what you were talking to Mr. Hazim about?
Yes, I was complimenting his suit. It's quite pink, don't you think?
Yes, that wasn't the mental image I had. So yes, it is more pink, I suppose. I would have gone with salmon.
Well, yeah, I could see salmon. I could see salmon.
Bit of a pushover, aren't you, Lily?
I don't know. I just want the police here and get this over with.
Of course, of course. And what will you do without your painting, Lily?
Well, I don't know. I'm not sure. I imagine that with all of this death, that we'll have to come back at another time to get all this sorted with the bidding items.
Hmm. Interesting. Yes, I suppose that would be one way to stop the auction before the goods were put out to people. I'm watching you, Lily.
And I'm watching you, Jane.
And Jane will kind of saunter back to the other three. There's something wrong with Lily. She's trying to stare me down. Nobody stares me down.
So she wasn't, in fact, hiding the painting in her seat.
Not that I saw, and I'm pretty
Mhm.
sharp.
Okay.
How's
Well,
Alma taking all of this?
um, when you first saw Alma, she seemed to be, more distracted and kind of running around. You don't know what she was doing. But since then, she's still on her phone, but she does seem to have a little bit more of a distressed look about her.
I'm gonna go talk to her.
Okay.
Dear, you look upset.
Well, yes, I mean, I just lost a good friend.
Yes, I hadn't realized how close you and Pauline were. I'm sorry to hear that.
Yes, Pauline and I were very good friends. We especially became close over the last probably year or so.
Mm. Wait, do you have any reason to believe that someone would want to hurt Pauline?
Well, I don't know. I mean, Pauline could be fairly shrewd, business wise.
Is that so?
Yeah, she was very good at business, understood the art world very well.
Mm.
Um, and I learned that from recently with this estate sale that we've been doing. Um, so it's been kind of a saw a side of Pauline I didn't know too much about, the business side of Pauline. I only really knew her as just a good friend.
Well, I have reason to believe that she was worried about some person finding out that she had lied to them. Do you know anything about that? Perhaps a man in her life?
Um, well, her brother is the biggest
Mm.
man, I guess is a terrible sentence, but in her life, they've been together since they were born. Um, Hazim, I don't know. Um, as I said, they've been in a on again, off again relationship. It's I'm not sure how serious it was.
Mm.
Um, so it's hard to say with Hazim. I don't know, but he's the only other man that
Hmm.
she's really had a relationship with that I'm aware of.
I see.
Yeah.
And do we know why she was, or do you know she was hiding something, it seems? Do you know what? Or
Well,
maybe not telling the truth to her brother.
yeah, I'm not sure. I know she accepted a position with another art gallery in Boston. I knew that. And I had asked her, I said, how are you going to break it to Pierre? And she didn't really have an answer.
Hmm.
I got the impression that she decided to apply for the job and then thought about it, the consequences later.
Hmm. Well, I'm terribly sorry for your loss, dear.
Well, I thank you very much. It's I'm not sure I'll ever find another friend quite like Pauline. Um, I we seem to just share a lot. We had a lot in common,
Mm-hmm.
and so it's going to take me a long time to get over that, I think.
Grief, there's no timeline for grief, dear. It's going to ebb and flow. Some days you'll feel like you can't get out of bed, and some days it feels like you can't even remember his face, her face. But that's okay. Allow yourself to feel those feelings, and don't go rushing trying to fill that void that Pauline left. Feel those feelings, feel that grief.
Yeah. Yeah, you're right. You're right.
And surround yourself with people who will lift you up and love you and be there for you.
Thank you very much. It's been really nice having this chat with you.
And just, pat her shoulder.
Yeah, she seems like she took that really well, and that was very, very positive.
Don't think, I'll return. I don't think Alma has anything to do with this. I think, well, I don't know. I think that whoever did this,
I think
I have some
Pierre
theory.
has a lot of explaining to do
I agree.
because there's some weird stuff in the storage room.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of prosthetics, makeup, syringes.
Can you remind us how the theorize works?
Yeah, we've got. Let me get it where I can. Well, oh, there it is. Sorry. Um, so the theorize portion is an open, freewheeling discussion about the solution to the mystery once you've gathered at least the number of clues equal to the scenario complexity, which we're way above that.
Okay.
And so you all kind of take the clues you got, and we try to craft a explanation and theory for who done it. And then once we kind of come to a consensus about what that is, then you could do a roll based on the number of dice, or based on the number of clues. And yeah.
Are you thinking, Jane, are you thinking about theorizing?
I think we have enough. We definitely have enough clues, and I'd be interested to hear what people are thinking here and see how many of these we can tie together. So I gave that list, and I think the only one we would add to that after the muddy footprints, after the business card, is the creepy photo of Pauline and Pierre,
Pierre.
as
Pierre.
Ruth mentioned. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay. So I will say that about the information about the Deep Reaver is more of contextual information related to the Elder
Mhm.
Wing.
Right.
Whether you want to use that as a clue or not is completely up to you guys.
I feel like the Deep Reaver is kind of a red herring in this story. It's like something that's
Or overarching.
the overarching. Yeah,
Yeah.
hints at
It's-
the greater darkness of Brindlewood Bay, but isn't necessarily.
I
It
say we
really
throw it out for this one.
is. Yeah, it really is part of a bigger story
Bigger
arc.
story. Yeah.
Yeah.
But it fits really well into the scenario.
Yeah, no, yeah.
Interesting.
Kind of makes things a little bit creepy.
So, who are we thinking is the person?
Definitely Pierre.
Pierre. Yeah.
All right.
I think it
Yeah.
was I mean there's a lot of weirdness going on, but I think maybe this was the straw of her leaving, like her saying I'm leaving, I'm taking this job elsewhere. I'm starting my own life without you was maybe that was the tipping point on a mountain of weird shit already going on.
Maybe the stashed auction items are something that she had actually stashed, Pauline had stashed
Right.
to
She
kind of
wanted
make
to
her
sell
get
those
away.
off. Yeah.
Yeah, and Pierre
Exactly.
maybe caught her.
Yeah,
felt
and
threatened.
he was worried about
Yeah.
him, Pierre, finding out.
Yep.
And
He does seem to have an interesting dependence on her, which like maybe that's where the article about the death of their parents
Yeah.
kind of comes in. We might like start seeing after that is really when they start to differentiate and he becomes kind of this tired nighttime person just constantly following in her wake.
those
Yep.
night shift workers. Can't trust them.
Can't trust him.
All right. And if we match up the muddy footprints, they're probably going to be his.
Yeah.
Yep. What about
She
the
probably
needles?
needs.
Yeah.
Oh, I was going to go for the business cards for that antique dealer where she could offload the stash.
Yeah.
Antiques.
The
Yep.
fence.
Make her
Yeah.
get away. Yep. The needles unused.
It kind of gives you the impression of, and these were not antiques or anything. I'm
Right.
thinking of modern kind of stuff. Gives you you can kind of play with that as far as was there like a drug dependency issue going on?
I was thinking like here's what I was thinking. I was
It's like
thinking he
Botox
was
injection.
planning I may be way off. I was thinking he was planning this for a while. Like as soon as he found out that Pauline was leaving, he decided to kill her. And these hypodermic needles, it's the whole like, the needle with nothing in the vein kind of way of killing someone. But then finding those auction items and like it was an opportunity, like the way he ended up killing her was more like opportunistic, but he had been planning her murder for a while.
And there was also like defensive marks on
Right.
Yeah.
So like if she fought back, there's probably gonna be bruises on Pierre.
Yeah. Yep.
Yeah. Yeah. And that's something we can kind of like once you sort of if Pierre is your guy, then you can kind of build that all into the theory.
Yes.
Of,
You're fabricating someone's guilt.
Yeah. Basically.
All right. Then who rolls the die for this?
Whomever, it doesn't matter. But it's you've got 3, 4.
I'm counting 8.
Yeah.
Oh, and
If
we're
we have
tossing out
8,
the
it's
debriefer,
2d6.
right? So
So
yeah.
like unless someone rolls snake eyes,
Well,
you get a
it's
+10, right?
minus the complexity.
Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then what's the
So,
number we're shooting for?
10 plus 7 to
10.
9.
10 plus, yeah.
So the number of clues plus the die roll minus the complexity.
Yep.
All right.
So essentially we're at a +1 with the
Yeah.
complexity if I'm okay. Cool. I'm
Yeah, you're at a
calculating that
plus.
right.
So 2D plus 1 is kind of where you're at. So
All right.
who's
Ooh, yeah,
gonna roll them
Wow,
dice?
that's a lot of stress.
that is.
Yeah. Not it.
Do it, Ruth. Do it.
Oh no. I was taking notes. Okay, fine. Okay. So 2d6. What am I aiming for?
A
10.
10.
Oh, great. Okay.
2d6 plus 1.
Okay.
A 7 to 9 is pretty good too.
Yeah.
Plus 1, 8.
Yeah.
Woo!
Hey, nice.
Hey.
Complexity. Pierre pulls out a gun.
Yeah. So a sheriff shows up. Sheriff Dimple. I can't actually pronounce his real last name, so I just call him Sheriff Dimple. Sheriff Dimple shows up, and you show him all this evidence, and he's really impressed with everything. He basically has a conversation with Pierre, lays it all out. Pierre does admit to the murder, but it kind of doesn't tie up everything.
Mhm.
I'm trying to think of what a good complication on this would be.
He obviously takes the sheriff hostage.
yeah.
Or he
Well-
or he gets like he slips out in the night somehow, and he's just in the wind or something.
Or
Can't
before
find
the
the
sheriff
painting.
comes up, and when we confront him, he does something dangerous.
Mm.
Like he takes out the antique sabers. I'm trying to pulp this up. Don't listen to me.
Stats.
Yeah. Yeah. I'm kind of thinking I like the idea that he slips away.
Ooh.
I like the
And he
idea
In the
that
leaves
chaos of it
behind
all. Yeah.
a prosthetic face.
That looks just like his Pauline.
Yes, that looks like Pierre's face.
it's just
Ooh.
like Pierre's face. Yeah. Yeah, he's becoming like some kind of master of disguise kind of
Yeah,
thing.
yeah. That's good.
Yeah.
He was disfigured in the accident.
course.
Ooh.
That's what the prosthetics are for.
Mr. Bond.
So he can keep looking like Pauline.
That's right. It's Pauline's
Oh.
face.
It's Pauline's. Well, yeah.
But they do look alike. They're twins.
This
so.
is what you would have wanted, sister.
No, absolutely not.
Oh, Pauline's literal face. Okay.
Oh no.
Uh-oh.
Okay. So that is the scenario. Deadly Silent Auction.
This was a lot of fun. Thank you,
Very cool.
Julian. I always
Yeah.
enjoyed this game.
You're very welcome. I like it too. I like the freewheeling creative aspect of it.
Anything goes. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like that.
And for me, running it is kind of a challenge because I'm trying to run it so that I don't really lean toward one particular suspect or the other.
Right.
But sometimes you read these scenarios and you go, well, there's the obvious. Pierre is the obvious choice. George is a good one, and Hazim is also a good one, as far as and then Lily could potentially be,
Mhm.
but yeah.
I actually considered Lee at one point. Like she had been the one to catch Pauline and was like, no, I need to take her out so I could take over the business.
Yeah.
Then I'll take care of Pierre.
I threw out like a sort of a question in the chat about Alma and the relationship between
Yeah,
Alma
yeah, yeah.
and
I
Pauline.
did answer that. Yeah.
Yeah. So that's and there's all kinds of different angles to play
Yeah.
these characters, these suspects. So
So you
And I
could even
guess-
run this again and kind of have it like it could be
It'll be
someone else
different. Yeah.
completely.
It'll be
Yeah.
different.
it could be completely different because, maybe I would like, what about Nigel? Maybe he's trying to, what the hell is Nigel's motivation anyway? He's just some dude running a shitty catering business,
Yep.
but I also think it's like really normal to have, one or two suspects that are really not suspects.
Mm.
They're just normal people in
Yeah.
a bad situation. So
Awesome. Well, thanks for running, Julian.
you're
Really
very welcome.
appreciate it.
Thanks
And
for the invitation.
Yeah.
Of course. And that's been another episode of RPG Reanimators. It's a live playthrough of Brindlewood Bay. Thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. Be sure to check out the RPG Reanimators podcast for horror scenario reviews, interviews, gaming discussions, and more.
It's a beautiful day in Brindlewood Bay. The Murder Mavens are on the case, solving mysteries or serving up cake. It's a beautiful day in Brindlewood Bay. It's a beautiful day, it's a cozy place with all the bodies to investigate, searching for clues and mysterious things, catching the murderer and saving the day. And in the dark, the midwives weaving their conspiracies. Will the Maven survive? What would Amanda Delacour do? It's a beautiful day in Brindlewood Bay. The Murder Mavens are on the case, solving mysteries while serving up